doing more to help victims of domestic violence. Several organizations across Jacksonville, including the Hubbard House and Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, are looking deeper into local domestic violence cases in hopes of putting them to an end. Now, according to the latest domestic violence fatality review report, in 2018, there were 13, I want to repeat that, 13 domestic violence related deaths in Duval County. 12 were specifically linked to an intimate partner, and 5 of those homicides happened when children were present. Here to talk about the push for change, Hubbard House CEO Gail Patin. Good morning. Those numbers are terrifying.
They're absolutely terrifying. When we think about the people that are dying in relationships that they thought were safe, it's alarming. So we really need people to understand that domestic violence is deadly and can be deadly, and that it is just not a couple arguing. It is about violence in the home. It's about real terrorism in the home.
I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it, that domestic violence can lead to death.
It absolutely can, and unfortunately those numbers show it. So what we do at Hubbard House is we offer opportunities for survivors to reach out to get help, to safety plan, to find a safe way to leave, because one of the most dangerous times for survivors is when they're planning to leave or right after they've left. So we can help them brainstorm ways to do that in the safest manner possible.
If someone who is right now in a domestic violent relationship, what do you say to that person?
Well, I'd let them know they're not alone. There is help, and we do believe them. And to please call our hotline, 1-800-500-1119, in order to get the help that they need.
And in more than many cases, they've been threatened that if they leave, some harm will come to another loved one, and they don't want to. You know, what do you say to those people?
Well, what we say is believe those threats, because those threats are real. So we tell them, if you're planning to leave, let's do it in a way that we can mitigate as many of those threats as possible.
And the children, the impact this has on those children. I mean, 5 cases where children were in the home?
Right. Can you even imagine being a child and seeing your loved one be murdered right in front of your eyes?
By your other, possibly, parent.
Right. And then, like last year, even a child was murdered in the case of a domestic violence while the brother stood by and watched too. So we're talking about a crime, because it is a crime, and it's a violent crime that impacts not only the direct victim, but everybody in that family who witness it or know about the violence. They are on pins and needles and afraid for their lives almost all the time. And the impact of that on adults and children is immeasurable. And that's why we're here to help, not only during the domestic violence, but after a person gets out, to do that continual counseling so that they can find help and they can find hope for a future.
Yeah. I want to kind of put a positive note on this. Have you seen a lot of success cases?
We absolutely have. And actually, we're having our annual Barbara Ann Campbell Memorial Breakfast coming up. And during that breakfast, you will hear a story from a survivor herself who's talked about her journey to freedom and where she is today. And it's very inspiring. And people can come to this breakfast. If they go to hubbardhouse.org, they can see how to get a ticket. But it's October 8th at 7:30. They won't, they will be very humbled by listening to the courage of survivors.
Wow. What is the first step if you are in one of those relationships? What is the first step you can do right now?
Call the hotline. That is, you can call, you don't have to give your real name, you can just talk about what's going on and learn more information that can help you decide what you want to do with your life.
And I want to be very blunt right now. If you are in a relationship and you think he would never kill me, it's the reality. We have to imagine the worst.
We absolutely do, because domestic violence rarely stops on its own, and it oftentimes gets worse to the point of death.
Yeah, but there's hope.
There's absolute hope, and we're in the hope business and the life-saving, life-changing business, and we're here for people.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this can possibly help someone at home watching it right now, or share this with a loved one that maybe is going through this.
Thank you.
Of course. So for more information on Domestic Violence Awareness Month activities, just visit hubbardhouse.org. You can find that link. It's on your screen right now, but you can also find the link on our website, newsforjax.com.